Halo semuanya, balik lagi bersama saya ZapCure di game Hitman 3. Kali ini kita akan melanjutkan misi untuk membunuh Alexa Carlisle dan menemukan cache filenya. Selamat menonton teman-teman.
This is a private area, sir. Phineas Whitmer, private investigator. I have an appointment.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator, hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47.
Move in! Move in!
A famous...
Flush the punk out! That's him! In the lead!
Mohon maaf, dibunuh. Kita membutuhkan baju detektif. Dan detektif ini kita buang mayatnya.
Hello there, sir.
Did you give the Fitzpatrick token to Madame Carlyle's daughter?
Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler?
Oh, of course.
I'm Phineas Whitmer, private investigator.
Ah, Mr. Whitmer. Madame Carlyle has asked me to be of assistance to you. I trust you've had a look around. Are you ready to see the crime scene now?
I am.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir. I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So
Greetings,
please
sir.
bear with them if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
Before you inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother. He was found dead in his bed this morning. The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room, to my right.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this. Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47. Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal.
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
I lost a button for my cuff yesterday, probably at the graveyard. Can you just pop down and have a look?
For a button, sir? That's
Mr.
what I said.
Fernsby,
Right.
I'm done with the
What
crime
colour?
scene.
Did you establish a time of
Please,
death?
because
Zachary died around 10
can't
o'clock
go
last
without my
night.
button.
That
now,
means
can
the
I?
staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here is the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
This is very useful.
How's everything coming along?
So how does one
Patrick
solve a
Carlyle.
murder mystery,
Can you
47?
tell me where you were
Motive
yesterday
means
evening?
an opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell Mother, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. So, is that it?
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexei used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him, then suddenly he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy Joe's looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my...
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary topped himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it. Yo, Ann, what's up? Relax, man. I said I'd get you money. It's just gonna take a little longer. Jeez, and how's that my fault?
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office. Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, the handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself. Mr. Fernsby clearly didn't commit the murder, but I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle he did. Maybe you should tell him you are ready to present your findings.
He treated me like shit.
Unless, of course, you
All
want
he
to do
wanted
some
to
more
do was
detecting,
play
47?
stupid video games, never any romance. I deserve romance.
I shouldn't gossip, but that Emma woman is a tad too busy for my taste.
Tell me.
She scolded Mary for not making the bed the way she prefers it. It's
Rosie,
so unfair.
tell me what you did last night.
Just
I'm in
discovered
trouble, aren't
Catherine's
I?
dead body and was all shook up.
I spent the evening with
I tried to tell her
Patrick.
that, and do you know what she said?
We met after dinner and I went home at
Things
1 in the
change
morning.
out here. I can
He said he
promise you
needed
that.
someone
I
real
saw
to
her
talk
rearrange
to.
Photos in the sitting room.
When he looks
Hitting
at you,
Madam
it
in
makes
the
you
back
feel
and
like the
moving
center of the
Montgomery to the front.
universe. Like
She's
a
all
real
right in her head.
princess.
Why would she do that? He died almost
Would
50
you
years
mind
ago.
taking a few
Did you
steps
notice
away from
anything
me,
out of the
please?
ordinary?
Thank God
Any
Madam Carlyle
strangers
is still
outside
alive.
the house?
No, we saw no one outside. Except Patrick's mother, Emma. We were sitting on the bench behind the greenhouse talking when she came out and, we had to hide. You won't tell her about me and Patrick, will you? She'd insist Madame Carlyle fire me. I'm sure of it.
Too right she will. She's always going on about how things will change once she's in charge of Thornbridge Manor. But now he just ignores her.
Well, he's under a lot of pressure.
He's an idiot. That's what he is.
So 41 guests will attend the funeral tomorrow. There's still a lot to see to, but we're in good time, I think.
Quite the poet. But you're right. It's beautiful.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting, and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. Anything else I can do to help?
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff were all the company he had. If that's all, I have a speech.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have a strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me.
Yes, hi, Cassie. It's me again. Edward. I know I'm not supposed to.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else you want to pry from my...
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead. Is that all? Not
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing, really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Emma Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Anything else you want to know?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. Well, how do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Is that all?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
Rebecca Carlyle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 8:45. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is that everything, Mr. Whitman?
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
What? Huh.
Anybody there? That's just freaking annoying.
What the? What's going on? Show.
That's a token for a vault in the Milton Fitzpatrick London Bank. You need a pair, and you gain access no questions asked. I bet that's where Madame Carlyle keeps a copy of the Edwards file.
Whoa.
For God's sake, Emma.
But why don't we get any kind of explanation? It's bloody rude, that's what it is. Making us come here to play funeral and then show up like nothing.
Just keep calm.
I received the vault token for the Milton Fitzpatrick London Bank. Did I understand correctly that I should give it to Rebecca in case of your death?
Exactly. She holds the other one. I want her to have the file on Arthur Edwards if I die.
You're not fearful she will be... in trouble if she knows.
She will start digging when she realizes things don't add up, inevitably getting her in trouble. I'd rather she knew who she's up against. She's clever and resourceful. Who knows, maybe she'll be able to hit him where it hurts. But I don't want her to get involved prematurely. Hopefully she'll never have to get involved at all.
Hello, sir.
Can't you just relax for a minute?
And that solicitor upstairs, why do you think he's here?
I think solicitors are Mother's favorite kind of people. Can't remember ever having a family event.
Got
without
some
one passed
strange
away
noises here.
somewhere.
Looking into it. Over.
I think he's here to cut us on part2.
Stay in cover. Let me through.
Okay. Okay, I'll just stay right here.
So, how long have you been working here?
About a month now.
You're American. What on earth are you doing in this shithole? A girl like you belongs to clubs in London.
Show yourself.
I bet you're a great dancer.
I don't like dancing.
What about restaurants then? You like food? I don't think it's great place. You should come visit. I'll take you somewhere really nice. Spend a few bucks. A girl like you.
On top of things, Elaine?
Sure am, Mr. Fernsby. Coming along just fine.
I trust Mr. Patrick is not interfering with your work. We need everything ready for tomorrow.
He's just bored, I think. I can work while we talk.
Just leave it at talking, Elaine. Mr. Patrick is not acquainted with how things are done here.
I'm fine. Thanks for checking in.
Mr. Patrick, can I do anything for you?
Excuse me?
Yes, actually, could you
All
speed
right,
up time
you
so
got
I
my
don't
attention.
die from boredom? I fear I may not survive an entire weekend in this shithole.
Perhaps a brisk walk
Hello?
in the garden.
Who made that sound?
I said speed up time, no one laughed.
I'll come back later.
How very kind of you, dear Mr. Fernsby. I hope to see you soon.
What? What was that noise?
Leher. Ya.
I bet you have all kinds of interesting...
Actually,
Put a pin in it.
yeah,
Sorry.
That door leads to Emma and Gregory's room. Now this is interesting, 47. A letter from Emma's mother stating that Emma is the illegitimate child of Alexa's late older brother, Montgomery. And listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary murder him. The plot thickens. A keychain pendant for the greenhouse. What's that doing in Emma and Gregory's room, I wonder? And why is the key missing?
Okay. Not now, please.
I deserve companionship. I deserve intimacy. I deserve...
Clever girl, Rebecca. Such a shame with all the idealism there. She could have gone far.
Do I tell her off?
You can't deter her, Fernsby. And she's not a good story.
Something
No
odd. Pruitt got word his motion was rejected.
No.
We all signed the bloody thing 4 days ago.
I'm sure it will sort itself out.
How can you be so relaxed? I wish you'd take things more seriously.
What are you going on about now?
This whole situation isn't normal. How do you think it was? You must be so confused. Don't like how Alexa's way of running things impacts our son. All this will be his someday.
Exactly. He has nothing to worry about.
An old letter, 47. You're an excellent detective, 47. Uncovering truths half a century old. If you frame it correctly, I believe you could use the information to convince Madame Carlyle that Zachary committed suicide. Maybe you should ask Mr. Fernsby to see her. Or perhaps you feel like digging a bit more.
What the?
That is the door to Rebecca's room. I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night.
Aaron Ford Jr. calling from Morgan, Yates & Cohn. I need to get a listing of asset transfers from the Carlyle account. 5. No, I...
This all confirms that Arthur Edwards stole everything from Madame Carlyle. Perhaps you should let her know how bad it is, 47.
Bad news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra fuses. Ethel looked everywhere.
You've got to be kidding. No power, no voice.
Carlyle will be furious. She expects family photos to be done any moment now.
I need this shoot to happen, okay? And I need it to be perfect. Can't we just take a fuse from another fuse box?
I guess we could do that.
Good. I'll finish setting up, and then we'll grab the fuse just before you call down the family.
Good. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Emma Carlyle in the greenhouse. How curious.
Christ, I have no idea what I need.
I don't believe for a second that Zachary committed suicide. We'd only just run through his plan for
Emma Carlyle.
Oh! You startled me. I was just, I don't know, thinking about Zachary. He spent most of his life in here with these plants. Not much of a life, is it? Well, anyway, I'll be outside if you need me. If you'd excuse me.
You're taking this hard, aren't you?
Broken lab equipment. It looks like it was recently used, though.
I will never again meet someone like Zachary. I can't bear to think what will happen to all his rare plants now.
I know, Oliver, I know.
We shall all miss him dearly.
Oh, thank God. It works again. What a relief.
Emma Carlyle.
Oh! You startled me. I was just, I don't know, thinking about Zachary. He spent most of his life in here with these plants. Not much of a life, is it? Well, anyway, I'll be outside if you need me. If you'd excuse me.
Now Zachary won't get to see the rhododendron periginium blossom. They were his favourite.
Come on, Oliver. I understand why you're so upset. It's such a shock to all of us.
I'll never get how the rich do that. All this fuss for a pretend funeral. And why not do a photo shoot because we're all down? Talk about messed up magic.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Edward?
Burnsby, thank you. No, I'm afraid not.
Some fresh air may do you good.
It might, but I need to finish Mother's eulogy for tomorrow.
Oh.
I think I can do it, actually. Did she say anything to you?
Mr. Edward, your mother has very high standards. I'm under the impression they are rarely met by anyone but herself.
Possible intruder.
God.
Sweeping
She
area.
expects
Over.
me to fail.
Tomorrow will soon be over, and then you can put all this behind you. I'm sure you'll do splendidly. Just wait and see.
I don't know.
What was that sound?
Did all the groceries arrive? I heard some of
We're
the
not
delivery
gossiping,
people were unhappy with the
No,
security
Mr.
at the
Fernsby.
gate.
Good.
It's
But
just that
let's see
dreadful
if we-
woman, Emma.
She never misses a step.
She's threatened half the
Gossiping,
staff
blah,
that
blah.
things will have to change
Doing
once
all
I'm in
this pretend
charge.
funeral stuff just now.
We're all just relieved
I know
Madame
I have to,
Carlyle
but
as well,
Amy
and
thinks
Emma
she might
won't
be
be moving in.
All
Gonna be a
things do
dad.
eventually come to an end,
Remember how it was
Ethel.
with the first
There's nothing you can do about
The
that.
ones that come
No, sir.
after certainly
And
are a lot
maybe
less
keep
of a
your
worry.
feelings about Emma Carlyle to yourself.
Yes, Mr. Fernsby. Did Alice tell you what Emma did when she arrived?
What is it now?
She turned up and demanded to be put up in Madame Carlyle's bedroom. We're the new heads of the family after all.
It's probably nothing, but, you know, why don't you just go and check it out?
Affirmative.
He normally accepts his wife's outrageous behaviour without batting an eyelid.
Hey, is anyone there? Hello? I don't like this.
Good job, 47. You now have both tokens needed for us to get the file on Arthur Edwards from the London vault. Time to take care of Alexa Carlyle.
Okay.
How are things
Really?
going along inside? Is everything ready for tomorrow?
I'm getting a headache from all the decisions. I mean, pram or stroller, comforter or not.
Huh?
Should I ask her to marry me? What if she says no? And then this big funeral thing tomorrow. It's the last thing I need.
Amy is a great lass. You love her, she loves you. And now a wee one on the way. I'd say you're one lucky bastard.
You have a way with words, Dan.
Ah, my perfect mother. Ha. Who would have thought? You fucked up, didn't you? Staging your own death? A major, grandiose cock-up, I'd say.
Be quiet, Gregory.
It shows you're only human, after all. I never would have guessed.
Mana lagi Mr. Fernsby? Jangan dia naik ke atas. Oh iya benar. Bukan. Gimana Mr. Fernsby? Where are you?
Did you talk to Mother?
Pour emotion into that instrument.
Quite the poet. But you're right. It's beautiful.
Bentar. Oke, lanjut.
The 41 guests will attend the funeral tomorrow. There's still a lot to see to, but we're in good time.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very
Zachary
well. If
found
you'll
dead
follow me,
upstairs
sir.
today. Death is everywhere. I never thought of it that way. Oh, God. It's such a big responsibility having a baby. I have to protect it, right?
How do you do that? I can't do that.
Oh, badannya bisa tembus.
Greetings, sir.
Are there any gardeners outside you haven't seen before? There are a lot of them on the grounds.
Talk to Mr. Fernsby. He's in charge of the staff.
This is Madame
keep an eye
Carlyle's
out,
office.
Stay on
Please
top
step
of things like
inside.
that.
I can't forget his eyes. They were so swollen, it didn't even look like Zachary. I've never seen a dead body before.
It must have been awful. Do you think it was a suicide?
I don't know. Madame Carlyle certainly doesn't think so. Why else?
Your detective skills have gained you access to the Lion's Den, 47. Now, go claim your reward.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
Your brother committed suicide.
I need to see some evidence to believe that, Mr. Whitmer.
Zachary was found dead in a room locked from the inside. He died from a rare poisonous plant he cultivated himself. He believed you were dead, and a suicide note explained that he did not have the courage to go on without you.
That's what I don't buy. I cared for him deeply, but the truth is he hated my guts. My death would not make him commit suicide, I can promise you that.
Perhaps the death of your older brother, Montgomery, then. I have found evidence showing that you and Zachary killed him nearly 50 years ago. I believe that was when Zachary turned recluse. Your brother recently uncovered proof that your past deeds were for nothing. A letter from Montgomery stating that he wanted you, Madame Carlyle, to take over from your father instead of himself, as you were better suited to the job. Everything would have turned out the way you wanted, without anyone dying. What broke Zachary once, now destroyed him.
And you saw this letter?
I did.
Oh, Zachary. How royally I fucked up. Mr. Whitmer, I'm sorry, I just need to gather my thoughts. Right. The payment for your services, have you decided on an amount?
Arthur Edwards. You have a file on him.
Arthur Edwards. How do you... I see. Well played. For many, many years I feared what I'd see when I finally met death. And now you sit before me, and I feel only peace. You see, I believe life is a fair fight, and I lost spectacularly in every way imaginable. It is time for me to leave the pit. Oh, before I get to that, your reward. The file you want is in the safe. A last wish from a dying woman. Get Edwards and make him suffer. So long. I need some privacy. Thank you.
Sir.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlyle. Mission complete. Well done, 47.
Hello there, sir.
Oh, begitu saja ternyata.
Did you want to check on that undertaker in charge of the funeral? I got word he's upset with Madame Carlyle. Everything's in order?
"47. They're everywhere. Go, get out! It's the Constantine. Shit!
Oke, sampai di sini dulu semuanya teman-teman. Jangan lupa like, subscribe, and comment. Dan juga di-share ke teman-teman kalian. Terima kasih sudah menonton.